Imagine a world hidden in the shadows of our own, where aliens walk among you as but, not as invaders. One of them is a girl, exiled and cursed by her very own people. Her beauty is otherworldly, her powers terrifying, but her heart longs for freedom. They say no alien, no god, no cosmic force can lift her curse. Only a human, yes, a fragile human, holds the key to breaking it. What happens when worlds collide? When trust, betrayal, and destiny come face to face? Stay with me because this story is going to take you deep into the unknown, where aliens are not just myths, but living nightmares and breathtaking mysteries. The story begins far beyond Earth, in a galaxy that most humans could never imagine. There, among shining stars and dark nebula clouds, lived a powerful alien race known as the Zypherians. They were taller than humans, with glowing skin that shimmered like silver under the starlight. Their eyes glowed green, and their voices carried an echo, as if the universe itself spoke through them. For centuries, the Zypherians ruled their world with pride, believing themselves to be the most advanced and perfect beings in existence. But not everyone fit their idea of perfection. Among them was a young girl named Lyra. From birth, she was different. Her silver glow was softer, her voice carried warmth instead of echo, and her heart often felt emotions that her people called weaknesses: compassion, kindness, and even love. To the Zypherians, who valued power and control above all, Lyra's gentle spirit was dangerous. They whispered about her behind her back, calling her a half-blood, a mistake, even a curse to their proud race. One night, the elders gathered in the Crystal Temple, a place where alien energy flowed like rivers of light. They accused Lyra of betraying her people, of caring more about life than power, of dreaming of peace when war was their tradition. As punishment, they cast a curse upon her, an ancient spell woven from alien energy and cosmic fire. Her powers were locked away, her wings of light were torn, and her body was marked with glowing scars that burned with pain. Worst of all, the curse ensured that no Zypherian could ever free her. She was doomed to suffer, trapped between worlds unless a human, a weak, primitive creature, could somehow break it. Exiled, Lyra was sent across galaxies, her ship crashing onto the strange blue planet called Earth. For the first time, she saw the ocean's waves, the forest's deep green, and the endless skies of this world. But humans were not ready for aliens. They stared at her glowing scars with fear, some calling her an angel, others a demon. She lived in the shadows, hiding in abandoned places, speaking only to the stars at night. Yet the curse was stronger on Earth. Every day her power slipped further away, and her pain grew sharper. Sometimes, when she touched the ground, the earth cracked with alien energy. When she cried, the skies darkened. The humans around her felt something strange, like they were being watched by unseen forces. Aliens had not just cursed her, they had tied her fate to the balance of Earth itself. But there was a prophecy hidden in alien texts, one she barely understood. It said, "When the cursed child meets the heart of a human, the chains of the universe will tremble." Lyra did not know who this human would be, or if one even existed who could face the wrath of the Zypherians. Still, somewhere deep in her heart, she carried hope. So the story of the alien girl truly begins, not just of her curse, but of her search for the only being who could save her, a human. Lyra wandered Earth for many days, moving from city to city, always in hiding. Humans fascinated her. They were fragile compared to the Zypherians, yet they had something her people lacked: hearts that could love, dream, and hope even in the darkest times. Still, she feared them, for her alien glow made her different, and difference often brings fear. One cold night, Lyra sat near the ruins of an old factory. Her scars glowed faintly, the curse burning inside her like fire. She whispered to the stars in her alien tongue, asking why her people had betrayed her, asking why she must rely on humans to save her. As her voice echoed, a human boy approached. His name was Ethan, a quiet teenager from the nearby town. Unlike others, he did not run at the sight of her glowing scars. Instead, he froze, his eyes wide, not with fear, but with awe. "Are you an angel?" Ethan asked softly. Lyra's lips trembled. No human had spoken to her like that before. Most screamed, called her a monster. or through stones. This boy's voice was gentle, curious. For the first time, she felt something strange trust. She wanted to believe this boy was different. "I am not an angel," she replied, her voice carrying the faint echo of alien worlds. "I am cursed, and I am not of your world." Ethan should have run. His mind screamed that this glowing girl with strange scars and otherworldly eyes could not be real. But something about her drew him in. Maybe it was the sadness in her eyes, or the way her scars pulsed like stars trapped beneath her skin. Instead of fear, he felt a powerful urge to protect her. Lyra hesitated, then told him the truth of the Zypherians, of her exile, and of the curse that chained her powers. She explained that no alien could break it, only a human. Ethan listened without interrupting, his heart pounding. It sounded impossible, like a story out of science fiction, yet deep down he believed her. But Lyra also warned him. Helping her meant danger. The Zypherians did not forgive betrayal. They watched from afar, sending shadows, alien drones, and cosmic hunters to track her. If Ethan chose to stand by her, he would face not just earthly dangers, but the wrath of an entire alien race. Ethan looked at her glowing scars, then at the night sky full of stars. "If your people cursed you," he said slowly, "then maybe it's because you're different. Maybe you feel more human than they do. And if I'm the only one who can help, then I will." Lyra felt her heart race. For centuries, Zypherians mocked humans as weak, fragile, and unworthy. Yet here was a boy standing bravely in front of her, ready to face the impossible. Could it be that the prophecy was real? That this boy was the key? From that night, their fates were tied. The cursed alien girl and the human boy. Together, they would face not only the curse, but the fury of the Zypherians who were already watching. The moment Ethan gave his promise to help Lyra, the universe seemed to shift. Her glowing scars lit up brighter than ever before, as if the curse itself had felt the words of a human. Somewhere light years away on the Zypherian homeworld, the ancient elders sat inside their towering council of light. Their temple was built from living crystal, glowing with streams of alien energy that pulsed like veins across the floor. Suddenly, the energy trembled. Out. One elder raised his hand, his green eyes burning. "The curse has been touched," he hissed. Another leaned forward, his long silver face twisted in anger. "By a human. Impossible. This prophecy cannot be allowed to breathe." For centuries, the Zypherians mocked humans as nothing but fragile insects. Yet deep within their archives, they kept an old prophecy. Only the fragile hand of a human may shatter the curse. They had laughed at it once, but now the laughter was gone. Fear had replaced it. The council ordered the release of their hunters. These were not ordinary warriors. They sent the void drones, creatures born of alien flesh fused with dark Zypherian metal. Their wings spread like shadows, their claws sharper than steel, and their eyes glowed with the fire of dying stars. These drones could leap between galaxies in seconds, slipping through cracks in space. When unleashed, they never failed their mission. Back on Earth, Lyra and Ethan were walking through the quiet outskirts of town. To Ethan, the world looked the same trees, the same cold wind, the same night sky. Yet he could feel it in his bones. Something was coming. He kept glancing at Lyra, her scars glowing faintly like constellations on her skin. Lyra stopped suddenly. Her body shook, as if lightning had struck her veins. She clutched her arm, her scars burning bright. "They are here," she whispered, her voice trembling. Ethan frowned. "Who's here?" "My people," she said, her eyes filling with fear. "They've sent hunters. The curse reacts to their presence. The closer they are, the weaker I become." Before Ethan could reply, the forest ahead grew silent, too silent. The wind stopped, the crickets vanished, and even the air seemed heavy. From the shadows of the trees, something moved. A creature stepped forward, its body twisting with alien flesh and dark metal. Its claws dug into the ground, leaving glowing marks in the soil. Its head tilted, scanning them with burning red eyes. Ethan's heart raced. He had never seen anything like it. It was like a nightmare come alive, part machine, part monster, dripping with alien energy. He wanted to run, but Lyra collapsed beside him, the curse tearing through her body. The drone's voice echoed in the air, speaking in Zypherian tongue. "Cursed one, you cannot escape." The human will die first. Ethan grabbed Lyra's hand. He was terrified, but he forced his voice to stay strong. "If you want her," he shouted, "you'll have to go through me." The drone's eyes locked onto him. To it, Ethan was just a fragile human boy, weak, breakable. But as it stepped closer, something happened. Lyra's scars flared, pulsing faster, reacting to Ethan's courage. The curse had awakened, and the prophecy had begun to stir. The hunt had truly started. The forest shook as the alien drone moved closer, its claws slicing through the soil like knives. Its body gave off a strange hum, a mix of mechanical vibration and living growls. Ethan stood frozen for a second, his human instincts screaming at him to run. But then he looked at Lyra. Her glowing scars were burning her skin, her body trembling as if the curse wanted to tear her apart. She needed him. The drone opened its jaws, releasing a chilling alien sound that made the trees bend. It was not just a roar. It was a message sent across galaxies, warning the Zypherians that the cursed girl had been found. If Ethan didn't act now, more drones would come. "Stay behind me," Ethan whispered, though he knew Lyra was too weak to even move. The drone leapt forward, its claws raised high. Ethan barely dodged, rolling across the ground as dirt and sparks flew. He had no weapon, no alien power, only his courage. But courage was something Zypherians never understood. To them, humans were weak. To Ethan, protecting Lyra was stronger than fear. He grabbed a broken tree branch from the ground and swung it with all his strength. The branch cracked against the drone's head, but the creature barely flinched. Instead, its glowing red eyes turned toward him, now focused completely on the human who dared to fight. The drone raised its claw again, but just before it struck, Lyra's hand glowed faintly. Her powers, though locked by the curse, flickered for a moment. A spark of alien energy burst from her palm, striking the drone's chest. The beast stumbled backward, hissing in pain. Ethan's eyes widened. "You did it." Lyra shook her head, her voice weak. "No, the curse is fighting me. I can't hold it." Her scars glowed brighter, almost like burning chains around her arms and legs. The curse punished her every time she tried to use her powers. The drone recovered quickly, its body healing itself with alien technology. It let out another roar, this time sharper, as if calling for reinforcements. Ethan's heart sank. One drone was this strong. How could they survive an army? He turned back to Lyra. "What do I do?" he shouted. She gasped, her alien eyes locking onto his. "The curse reacts to you. When you are near me, it changes. Fight with me, not against them, with me." Ethan didn't understand how a human could fight with an alien curse. But he had no choice. He grabbed her glowing hand, ignoring the burning pain that shot through his arm. The moment their skin touched, a surge of alien energy exploded around them. The ground shook, trees cracked, and the drone stumbled back, screeching in confusion. For a brief second, Ethan and Lyra glowed together, human and alien, united by the curse. The drone attacked again, but this time Ethan wasn't just human. The energy flowing through him made him faster, stronger. We swung the branch once more, and this time it smashed into the drone's head with unnatural force, sending the creature crashing into the trees. The battle wasn't over. The drone would rise again, and others were already on their way. But for the first time, Lyra saw a spark of hope. The prophecy was real. The human's touch had changed everything, and the Zypherians, watching from their distant world, felt fear for the very first time. The forest was silent again, but not peaceful. Smoke rose from the broken trees where the drone had fallen. Its body twitched, trying to repair itself, alien metal melting and reshaping like living tissue. Ethan held Lyra's hand tightly, still glowing faintly from the strange surge of energy that had passed between them. His chest rose and fell, his heart pounding, but his eyes burned with determination. Lyra, weak and trembling, looked at him with awe. "Do you see what happened?" she whispered. "When you touched me, the curse shifted. It listened to you." Ethan shook his head, confused. "I don't understand. I'm just human. I'm nothing like you." Lyra's scars glowed faintly, soft now instead of burning. "That is why it works. My people cursed me with alien fire. They made sure no Zypherian could ever set me free. But you are human. You are outside their laws, outside their power. That is why they fear you. Ethan's eyes widened. Fear me? But I can't fight them. They're aliens. They have ships, powers, technology. I'm just a kid from a small town. Lyra's lips curved in a faint, sad smile. And yet you stood against their hunter with nothing but courage. Do you think any Zyphrian would have done that? Before Ethan could answer, a low hum filled the air. Both of them looked up. The stars above seemed to shift, glowing brighter than normal. But Lyra knew the truth, those were not stars. They were Zyphrian ships moving in orbit, invisible to human eyes, but burning like fire to hers. They are watching, she whispered, her alien voice trembling. The elders see everything. Every step we take, they will try to stop us. Ethan followed her gaze, though he saw only the night sky. Then let them watch, he said. If they cursed you, then maybe they made a mistake. And if I'm the only one who can help, then we'll fight them together. Lyra looked at him deeply. For a moment, she saw something in Ethan's eyes that her people had never understood. Hope. Zyphrians were powerful, but they had no hope, no belief in something greater. To them, everything was control and domination. But humans had something else, something strange and strong. The broken drone twitched again, trying to rise, but Lyra held up her hand. Even weak, she managed to release a soft wave of alien energy, just enough to melt its core. The creature hissed and finally fell silent, smoke rising from its body. Ethan stared at her, then at the drone. More will come, won't they? Yes, Lyra said, her eyes glowing faintly. The first was only a shadow. The real hunters will follow soon. And when they do, we will not be safe anywhere on Earth. Ethan tightened his grip on her hand. Then we'll be ready. Tell me what I need to know. Tell me about your people, your curse, your world. If we're going to survive, I have to understand everything. Lyra's eyes filled with both fear and relief. Finally, she was not alone. Finally, a human stood by her side. She nodded slowly. And listen, Ethan. I will tell you the secrets my people have hidden for centuries. Secrets that could change your world forever. The wind blew cold, and the stars above seemed to whisper, carrying alien voices across the night. The real war was only beginning. Ethan sat with Lyra near the ruins of the fallen drone, the night air heavy with smoke and strange energy. The stars glimmered above them, but to Lyra, those stars were not just points of light, they were home. They were the places her cursed soul could never return to. She took a deep breath, her alien voice calm, but heavy with sorrow. My people, the Zyphrians, were not always this cruel, she began. Long ago, before the curse of power consumed them, they were explorers, dreamers. They traveled from galaxy to galaxy, not to conquer, but to learn. They wanted to understand the universe. Ethan leaned closer, fascinated. He had grown up reading stories about aliens, watching movies, but hearing it from Lyra herself was different. Her words carried truth that made his skin crawl. But everything changed, she continued. Our leaders discovered a force hidden deep within the stars, the cosmic veil. It was energy older than time, stronger than gravity, invisible to all but the Zyphrians. They believed this power would make us eternal, unbreakable. But the veil was not meant to be controlled. It corrupted us. Slowly, my people lost their kindness, their compassion. They became obsessed with domination. They cursed me because I refused to follow their path. Ethan frowned. So, your curse is connected to this veil? Lyra nodded. Yes, the elders wove its energy into my body. That is why my scars glow, why my powers are chained. They believed they were destroying me, but they feared something else. The prophecy. It said that one day, a Zyphrian born different like me would find a human who could shake the veil itself. Ethan's heart pounded. And now they think I'm that human. Her glowing eyes locked with his. Not think. They know. That is why they sent the drone. And that is why they will send more. Ethan ran his hand through his hair, trying to process it. But why humans? Why not another alien race? Lyra's voice softened. Because humans are unpredictable, fragile yet unyielding, weak yet strong in ways no Zyphrian can understand. You fight wars not only with weapons, but with dreams, with hope, with love. My people cannot fight those things. That is why they fear you. Silence fell between them for a moment. Ethan looked at her scars, glowing faintly under the moonlight, and realized they weren't just marks of pain. They were chains forged by an alien empire desperate to keep her under control. Finally, Lyra spoke again, her voice trembling. "If you stay with me, Ethan, you will be hunted. The Zypherians do not forgive. They will cross galaxies, burn your world, destroy everything you love, just to stop the prophecy." Ethan stared at her, then at the broken drone, smoldering nearby. He could still hear its dying hiss in his mind. For a moment, fear clawed at his chest. He was only human. How could he fight an entire alien empire? But then he looked back at Lyra. The sadness in her eyes, the loneliness, the pain, he couldn't walk away. "Then let them come," he said firmly. "I don't care how powerful they are. You're not alone anymore. Whatever this curse is, we'll break it. Together." For the first time in years, Lyra felt something she thought she had lost forever. Not just hope, but trust. Far above, beyond human sight, Zypherian ships shifted in orbit. Their eyes locked on Earth. The elders whispered among themselves. The prophecy was moving faster than they feared. The war for Lyra's soul and for humanity was about to begin. The next morning, Ethan woke up in his small bedroom, but it did not feel like the same world anymore. Lyra sat by the window, her silver glow hidden under an old blanket he had given her. She stared at the rising sun with a look of sadness, as if even daylight could not reach the shadows inside her. When Ethan sat up, he noticed her scars had changed. They were glowing brighter, the lines across her skin moving like living chains. "Lyra," he said quietly, "your marks. They look different." She pulled the blanket tighter around her. "The curse is alive, grows stronger when my people draw closer. Every time a Zypherian steps onto Earth, the curse burns deeper. It was designed this way to keep me in pain, to keep me from fighting back." Ethan frowned. "But yesterday, when I held your hand, changed, didn't it?" Lyra nodded slowly. "Yes." For a moment, the chains weakened. "The curse did not know how to fight you. That is why they fear humans. You are the missing piece." Ethan leaned forward. "Then maybe we can use that. Maybe if we push the curse hard enough together, it can break." Her eyes widened, glowing faintly with hope and fear. "If we try, Ethan, the Zypherians will sense it. They will come in greater numbers. You must understand they do not just want to stop me. They want to destroy Earth if it dares to protect me." Before Ethan could answer, Lyra suddenly gasped, clutching her arm. The glowing scars spread across her shoulder, forming a burning symbol like an alien sigil. She cried out, her voice shaking the room. "What's happening?" Ethan shouted, rushing to her side. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. "The mark. Elders have branded me again. It is their warning. They know you touched the curse. They know the prophecy has begun." Ethan grabbed her trembling hands, ignoring the heat from her glowing skin. "Then let them know," he said firmly. "I won't back down. I don't care if the whole universe comes for us. You're not facing this alone anymore." Lyra looked at him, her alien eyes filled with something she had never felt from her own people. She whispered, "Ethan, you don't realize what you are stepping into. The Zypherians are gods in their own eyes. To them you are nothing but a fragile creature. But maybe that is exactly why you can win." Just then, the ground trembled outside. A strange humming sound filled the air, louder and louder, like thunder mixed with static. Lyra's scars burned even brighter. She turned to the window, her voice trembling. "They're here," she whispered. "Another drone." "No, more than one." Ethan looked out, his heart racing. In the distance, shapes moved in the sky-dark shadows with glowing eyes. The forest at the edge of town shook as the first drone landed. The mark of the curse pulsed again on Lyra's skin, a signal to her people that the hunt was still alive. Ethan clenched his fists. The fight was no longer about survival, it was about destiny. The earth shook beneath Ethan's small town as shadows descended from the skies. 3 drones landed in the forest, their bodies glowing with alien fire. Unlike the first drone, these were larger, deadlier, and their claws burned with the energy of the cosmic veil itself. Birds scattered, trees cracked, and the air became heavy, charged with alien power. Ethan and Lyra stood at the edge of his home, watching the forest burn. Lyra's scars glowed furiously, reacting to the presence of her people. She fell to her knees, clutching her arms as pain surged through her body. The curse was feeding on their arrival. Ethan knelt beside her. "Lyra, stay with me. What do I do?" Through gritted teeth, she whispered, "Don't. Let go of me. Your touch weakens the curse. If you let go, it will tear me apart." Without hesitation, Ethan grabbed her glowing hand, ignoring the burning heat that shot up his arm. At once, her pain softened, and the scars dimmed slightly. The connection between them was the only thing keeping her alive. From the shadows of the forest, the drones advanced. Their alien voices echoed across the night, speaking in a language Ethan could not understand. But Lyra knew the words all too well. "Cursed child," one drone hissed, its mechanical voice dripping with hatred. "The elders demand your end. The human will be erased." Ethan stood tall, though fear clawed at his chest. "You'll have to go through me first." The drones spread out, surrounding them. Their claws gleamed, and their eyes glowed brighter. One stepped forward, its voice colder than ice. "You are nothing, human, a fragile insect. Do not defy the Zypharians." But Ethan did not move. He could feel the alien energy rushing through him from Lyra's curse, a strange power that made him stand his ground. Suddenly, the first drone attacked, its claws slicing through the air. Ethan pulled Lyra close and rolled to the side just as the ground exploded where they had stood. Dirt and fire rained around them. Lyra raised her hand, trying to fight back, but the curse burned her body, chaining her powers. She screamed, the scars blazing like fire. Ethan squeezed her hand tighter. "You're not alone, Lyra. Fight with me." For a brief moment, her energy flared again. Together, their glow spread, pushing back the nearest drone. The alien hissed, its body sizzling under the strange human-alien force. The other drones shrieked, realizing the prophecy was unfolding. They attacked all at once, claws tearing through trees, their movements faster than lightning. Ethan ducked and dodged, pulling Lyra with him, the ground shaking under their feet. Had no weapon strong enough to fight them, but his courage refused to break. Finally, one drone lunged directly at Ethan, its claws aimed at his chest. At the last second, Lyra pushed him aside, taking the hit herself. She crashed into the ground, her glowing scars burning like molten lava. "Lyra!" Ethan cried, rushing to her side. The drones circled closer, ready to finish them both. Lyra's voice was faint, trembling with pain. "Ethan, listen. The curse responds to your heart. If you truly believe, it will protect us." Ethan's hands trembled as he held her. He looked at the drones closing in, at Lyra's fading glow, and at the stars above. For the first time, he shouted into the night, "You will not take her," and the curse answered. A shockwave of alien energy exploded outward, blasting the drones backward. Trees snapped, fire spread, and the earth itself shook. For a moment, Ethan stood glowing beside Lyra, no longer just human, but something more. The hunters had arrived, but they were not prepared for what they faced. The forest burned with alien fire. Smoke curled upward, glowing red under the light of the drone's eyes. Ethan stood trembling, still holding Lyra, but something had changed. The shockwave he unleashed was not an accident. It was the curse awakening through him. Lyra stared at him with wide, alien eyes, her voice weak but filled with awe. "Ethan, do you realize what you just did? No human has ever touched Zephyrian power like that." You channeled the curse. Ethan's chest heaved as he tried to understand. "I don't know how. I just didn't want them to hurt you." She gave a faint smile, even through her pain. "That is the answer. The curse responds to the heart. It does not obey logic or strength, it listens to feelings. That is why my people can't control it. But you can." The drones, though damaged, rose again from the ground. Their bodies cracked with smoke, their claws sharper than ever. They hissed in unison. The prophecy is awakening. The human must die. Ethan helped Lyra to her feet. His body still glowed faintly, the energy pulsing through his veins. It felt hot, heavy, but powerful like fire that wanted to burn him from the inside. He clenched his fists, refusing to let it consume him. The first drone lunged forward. This time Ethan didn't run. He stepped into the attack, his hand glowing, and caught the creature's claw. To his shock, he held it back. The drone screeched, confused at how a human could resist Zyphirian strength. Ethan shouted, pushing forward, and the alien metal cracked under his grip. With a final surge of energy, he slammed the drone into the ground. Sparks exploded as its body twitched. Lyra gasped, watching him. "You're learning. Faster than I thought." But the other two drones were not idle. They leaped at him together, claws and wings tearing through the air. Ethan braced himself. But before they struck, Lyra raised her glowing hands. Even through the pain, she forced a wave of energy outward, knocking them back. Her scream filled the air as the curse punished her, but Ethan caught her before she fell. "You don't have to do this alone anymore," he whispered. The remaining drones hissed, their alien voices sharp. "The human is merging with the curse. If the bond grows stronger, the veil itself will tremble." Above the burning forest, far beyond Earth's atmosphere, Zypherian warships shifted in orbit. The elders watched in silence, their silver faces filled with fear. One finally spoke. "The prophecy lives. If the curse fully awakens through the human, even the veil may collapse." Back on Earth, Ethan stood tall, glowing faintly beside Lyra. For the first time, he no longer felt like just a boy from a small town. He felt connected to something greater, something cosmic. But with this awakening came danger. His body shook violently, the energy threatening to tear him apart. Lyra held his hand tightly, whispering, "You must control it. Ethan, if you lose yourself, the curse will consume you." The fire burned around them, the drones preparing to attack again, but Ethan did not step back. He looked into the eyes of the alien hunters and spoke with a voice steady and unshaken. "You cursed her because you feared her. Now you'll fear me too." The drones shrieked in anger, their claws raised high. The next battle was about to begin. The drones surrounded them once more, their alien bodies glowing with furious energy. But Ethan no longer felt like a helpless human. The curse inside Lyra pulsed through him, giving him strength he never thought possible. He stood tall, the air around him sparking with faint light, while Lyra leaned against him, her eyes glowing softly. Still, fear gnawed at his chest. "Lyra," he whispered, "how do I control this?" "I don't even know what I'm doing." She looked at him, her alien eyes shining. "You don't need control, Ethan. The curse listens to your heart, not your mind. That is why my people fear humans. You fight not because of power, but because of love, loyalty, and hope." Her words burned inside him, giving him courage. But the drones were not waiting. One leaped forward, claws extended. Ethan raised his hand, and a surge of energy burst outward, blasting the drone back into the trees. The ground shook as it crashed, sparks exploding from its broken body. The other two shrieked, their alien voices echoing, "The human is merging with the cursed one. The prophecy must be silenced." Ethan's hands shook with the energy flooding him. It felt both powerful and dangerous, like a storm raging inside his veins. He looked at Lyra. "What exactly is this prophecy?" Lyra's face grew pale. "It was written before I was born, in the ancient language of the Zypherians. The elders buried it, fearing it would come true," it says. "When the cursed child finds the heart of a human, the veil will tremble, and the Zypherian rain will fall." Ethan's eyes widened. "Fall, as in, your entire empire." She nodded. "Yes, my people chained me because they believed I was the one foretold. And now, with you, Ethan, the prophecy has begun. That is why they will stop at nothing. They will burn Earth if they must, just to keep me cursed." The words sank into him like stones. An entire alien empire feared them, not just her but him too. For a moment, the weight of it almost crushed him. He was only human, a boy who had never left his small town, and yet now he stood at the center of a cosmic war. The drones attacked again, moving faster than before. Ethan felt the energy rise inside him, his body glowing brighter, struck back with bursts of power that sent shockwaves through the forest. Trees cracked, the ground split, and the drones screamed in rage. But with every strike, the curse inside him grew hotter, more unstable. Lyra grabbed his arm, her voice urgent. "Careful, Ethan. The curse is not only power, it is poison. If you lose control, it will consume you, just as it consumes me." Ethan gritted his teeth, focusing on her voice. She was his anchor, the reason he fought. He looked at her glowing scars, at the pain in her eyes, and he made a promise silently in his heart. He would not only survive, he would free her. As the last drone fell, smoking and broken, the forest went quiet. Ethan stood shaking, his body steaming with energy. Lyra looked at him with both awe and fear. "You are becoming what my people feared most," she whispered. "A human who can wield alien fire." Above them, the Zypherian ships glowed brighter, their shadows moving across the stars. In their crystal council, the elders watched with growing dread. "The prophecy cannot be stopped," one hissed. "Then Earth must burn," another replied. And so, the war that began with a curse was about to engulf two worlds. Far beyond Earth, in the glowing crystal halls of the Zypherian Council, the elders sat in silence. Streams of cosmic light flowed across the floor, pulsing like living veins of the galaxy itself. For centuries, the Council had ruled without question, their voices law, their power unshaken. But now their perfect order was cracking. One elder slammed his hand against the table of crystal. His green eyes burned like flames. "The prophecy is alive. The cursed child has found her human. Cannot let this continue." Another elder hissed, his silver skin shimmering. "Already 3 drones have fallen. Single human and a weak cursed girl brought them down. If the curse bonds fully with him, the veil itself may shatter." The room shook as the council argued. Some called for more drones, others demanded full warships. But the oldest elder, a figure cloaked in glowing robes, raised his hand for silence. His voice echoed like thunder. "You do not understand," he said. "This is not just about a girl or a boy. This is about the veil. If the human's heart can truly bend it, then our entire empire stands on the edge of ruin. No weapon will matter. No fleet will matter. The prophecy will consume us." The council fell silent, fear flickering in their glowing eyes. Finally, the oldest elder spoke again. "Prepare the hunters. Not drones, not machines. Send the sentinels." Gasps filled the chamber. The sentinels were legendary giant alien warriors, half living, half energy, forged in the heart of dying stars. They were the Zephyrians' ultimate weapon beings even other alien races feared to face. If they were unleashed, Earth would tremble. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Ethan and Lyra rested in the ruins of the forest. The broken drones smoked around them, their glowing bodies fading into ash. Ethan sat against a fallen tree, his chest heaving, his arms trembling from the energy still burning inside him. "I don't know how much longer I can do this," he admitted. "Every time I use your curse, it feels like it's tearing me apart." Lyra knelt beside him, placing her glowing hand on his chest. "You must learn to balance it. The curse is fire, Ethan. If you burn too fast, it will consume you. But if you burn steady, it can become your strength." He looked at her, eyes filled with determination. "Then teach me. Whatever it takes, I'll learn, because I don't just want to fight. I want to break your curse." Her scars glowed faintly, as if answering his words. She smiled softly, though sadness lingered in her eyes. "No one has ever said that to me before." But their brief moment of peace shattered when the ground trembled violently. Ethan looked up to see the sky glowing red. A giant shadow moved across the stars, larger than any drone. Lyra's eyes widened in terror. "The sentinels," she whispered. "They've sent the sentinels." Ethan clenched his fists, even as fear gripped him. "Then let them come. We'll face them together." High above, the Zypherian fleet shifted, ready to unleash their deadliest warriors. The council's wrath had begun. The sky over Ethan's town turned blood red as the Zypherian fleet released their most feared warriors. The sentinels descended through the clouds, their massive bodies glowing with fire from the stars that birthed them. Each one stood taller than the tallest trees, their forms a terrifying blend of alien flesh and living energy. Their drones were hunters, sentinels were executioners. Ethan and Lyra watched from the forest clearing as the first sentinel landed. The ground shook violently, cracks splitting through the earth. Its glowing chest pulsed like a star, and its face carried no features, only a mask of light with blazing green eyes. Lyra's scars flared, burning so hot that she cried out in pain. She fell to her knees, clutching her arms. Ethan rushed to her side. "Lyra, what's happening?" "The curse," she gasped. "It reacts to them. The sentinels carry the full power of the veil. My body cannot fight it." Ethan grabbed her hand without thinking. The moment their skin touched, the burning lessened, though the heat still scorched his own arm. "Then we'll face them together," he said, his voice steady, even though fear pounded in his chest. The sentinel's voice boomed, echoing across the land. "Cursed child of the Zypherians, human anomaly. The council demands your end. Surrender, or your world will burn." Ethan stood, still holding Lyra's hand. "We're not surrendering," he shouted. "Not now, not ever." The sentinel raised its massive arm, and alien energy crackled in its palm like lightning. It released a blast that tore through the forest, trees shattering into splinters. Ethan pulled Lyra close and dove aside, the explosion leaving a crater where they had stood. Lyra's voice trembled. "Ethan, you can't fight this. The sentinels are not like drones. They are living weapons. Entire worlds have fallen to them." But Ethan shook his head. "Maybe worlds, but not us. Not today." He closed his eyes, focusing on the strange energy inside him. The curse pulsed with his heartbeat, wild and untamed. He thought of Lyra, her pain, her loneliness, her hope, and the energy surged stronger. When he opened his eyes, his body glowed brighter than before. The sentinel stepped forward, swinging its massive claw. Ethan raised his hand, and a shockwave of energy erupted from him, colliding with the sentinel's attack. The ground shook, the air cracked with alien thunder, and for a moment, the impossible happened. Ethan held the sentinel back. Lyra's eyes widened in awe.
Out here.
With I can do women's and I'd arrive and I did die some Friday for this Friday to Saturday says listen wars and with some fun how
No human should be able to resist a sentinel. Ethan gritted his teeth. "I don't care what humans should or shouldn't do, not letting them take you," the sentinel roared, its mask of light glowing brighter. More shadows fell from the sky as additional sentinels descended, each one shaking the earth with their landing. Ethan and Lyra stood surrounded, the odds impossibly against them. But as the alien giants advanced, something strange happened. The scars on Lyra's skin shifted, their glow syncing with Ethan's heartbeat. For the first time, the curse didn't fight hurt flowed with him. Together, their glow spread across the clearing, forming a shield of alien fire that held back the first strike of the sentinels. Far above, in the council chambers, the elders watched in silence. Their greatest weapons were struggling against a boy and a cursed girl. "The prophecy grows," the eldest whispered, "and the end of our reign may already be here on Earth." Ethan tightened his grip on Lyra's hand, staring at the towering figures before them. "This is the fight they want," he said, his voice steady. "This is the fight they'll get." The war had only just begun. The ground shook under the footsteps of the sentinels as they surrounded Ethan and Lyra. Their towering bodies glowed with the burning fire of the veil, and their alien voices echoed like thunder. Every step they took spread fear through the air. Ethan gripped Lyra's hand tighter. He could feel the curse burning inside him again, stronger than before. His veins glowed faintly, the same silver light that flowed through Lyra's scars. It hurt, but he didn't let go. He couldn't. One sentinel raised its claw and slammed it into the shield of energy, surrounding Ethan and Lyra. The impact shook the earth, sending shockwaves through the forest. Ethan staggered, his body screaming in pain, but the shield held. Lyra gasped, amazed. "Ethan, you're channeling the curse like a Zypherian warrior. No human has ever done this." Ethan gritted his teeth, his voice steady. "I'm not a warrior. I'm just someone who refuses to let you suffer alone." The sentinel pulled back, its glowing mask shifting as if it were studying him. Then its booming voice declared, "The human is merging with the curse. He is becoming a weapon." Ethan's heart pounded. He didn't want to be a weapon. He didn't want power for destruction. But the energy inside him was wild, desperate to be unleashed. He looked at Lyra, her glowing scars pulsing with his heartbeat. For the first time, he realized the curse wasn't just chains. It was also a key to something greater. The sentinels attacked together, their claws slicing through the air like blades of light. Ethan raised his free hand and alien fire erupted outward, knocking one of the giants back. The second sentinel struck harder, its claw smashing against his chest. Ethan stumbled, blood on his lips, but he refused to fall. The curse wrapped around him like armor, protecting him even as it burned his body. Lyra cried out, her voice breaking. "Ethan, stop. You can't keep pushing yourself. The curse will consume you if you don't control it." Ethan shook his head, wiping the blood away. "Then I'll learn to control it." Right now, closing his eyes, he focused on the feelings that drove him, the pain he saw in Lyra, the betrayal she had suffered, the loneliness she carried, and the small spark of hope in her eyes when he promised to stay. The curse flared, but instead of burning him, it steadied. For the first time, the wild storm of energy bent to his will. His body glowed brighter, his entire frame wrapped in alien light. He moved faster, his strikes sharper, his power stronger. The next time the sentinels attacked, Ethan met them head-on. He caught one claw with his bare hand and blasted the creature backward with a burst of energy that cracked the ground. Lyra's eyes widened, tears glistening. "Ethan, you're becoming the prophecy." The sentinels staggered but did not fall. Their alien voices boomed, warning the council. The human is no longer fragile. He is evolving. If we fail, the veil will tremble. Far above, the Zypherian council panicked. Their most powerful warriors were struggling against a human boy. The oldest elder whispered, "He is not just a threat. He is the weapon we feared, a human bound to alien fire." On Earth, Ethan stood tall, his body glowing with the curse, his eyes blazing with determination. For the first time, the sentinels stepped back, realizing the impossible. The weakest creature in the galaxy had become their greatest enemy. The battle raged in the burning forest, the air filled with alien fire, and the ground torn apart by shockwaves. Ethan's body glowed brighter than ever, his movements sharp and powerful. But this strength wasn't his alone. It came from the bond he shared with Lyra. Every time he held her hand, the curse steadied. Every time he looked into her glowing eyes, the storm inside him calmed. The sentinels noticed it too. Their massive forms circled slowly, their alien voices booming. The bond between them fuels the prophecy. The human is not the weapon alone. Together they are unstoppable. One sentinel struck, swinging its claw like a blade of light. Ethan pulled Lyra close and raised his hand. Their combined glow flared, creating a shield that shattered the attack. The giant stumbled back, its mask cracking, sparks spilling from its chest. Lyra gasped, feeling the curse change within her. "Ethan, do you feel it? The chains are loosening. The curse is breaking." He nodded, his heart pounding. "Then let's finish this. Together." But the sentinels did not fall easily. Another giant raised both arms, summoning energy from the veil itself. The sky darkened as green lightning struck the earth. The ground split, fire shot upward, and the whole forest seemed to scream. Ethan shielded Lyra, but the blast knocked them both down. His chest burned, blood staining his shirt, and Lyra's scars flared with violent heat. She cried out in agony, the curse punishing her. "Ethan, it's too much. You can't hold it." But Ethan forced himself back to his feet, his body trembling. "No, I can't stop now. If we give up, they'll destroy everything." He reached for her hand again. Lyra hesitated, afraid the curse would burn him alive, but Ethan grabbed it firmly. Instantly, their glow merged, brighter than ever before. The scars on her skin lit up like constellations, and Ethan's veins pulsed with alien fire. Together, they unleashed a surge of energy so strong that the air cracked like glass. The blast tore through the battlefield, knocking the sentinels back. One fell to its knees, another stumbled against the burning trees, their towering bodies shaking under the force. From far above, the Zypherian council felt the tremor. The oldest elder rose, his face pale with fear. "The bond is complete. The prophecy is not just alive, it is stronger than we imagined." Back on Earth, Lyra looked at Ethan, tears in her eyes. "You're changing me, Ethan. The curse doesn't burn as much when you're with me. For the first time, I feel free." Ethan smiled through the pain. "Then we'll keep fighting until you're completely free." The Sentinels regrouped, their voices booming with rage. "The human and the cursed one must die. The Council commands it." But Ethan and Lyra stood together, glowing brighter than the alien giants before them. They were no longer just prey being hunted. They were something new, something the Zypherians had never faced before. And for the first time, the Sentinels hesitated. The night sky burned green as the Sentinels closed in, their massive forms glowing like walking stars. Ethan and Lyra stood together in the clearing, their bodies wrapped in shared light, the curse pulsing through them both. The giants roared, shaking the earth, their alien voices filled with fury. One Sentinel stepped forward, larger and stronger than the rest. Its mask of light cracked with energy, and its claws gleamed like blades of crystal. With a thunderous strike, it swung down at Ethan and Lyra, determined to crush them both. Ethan pulled Lyra close, their bond sparking brighter than ever. He raised his free hand, and together they caught the blow. The ground beneath them shattered, dirt and rock exploding outward, but they did not fall. Their glow flared, pushing back against the impossible strength of the Sentinel. Lyra cried out, her scars glowing like fire. "Ethan, we can't hold it much longer." But Ethan shouted back, his voice filled with determination. "Then we won't just hold it, we'll end it." Summoning every ounce of strength, he pushed forward. The curse surged through him, pouring alien fire into his veins. With a final scream, Ethan and Lyra released a blast of energy that tore through the Sentinel's chest. The giant stumbled backward, its glowing mask cracking open. Sparks and alien light poured from its body as it let out a deafening roar. Then, with a final shudder, it collapsed, shaking the forest like an earthquake. The ground split, trees fell, and silence followed. Ethan collapsed to his knees, gasping for breath. His body trembled, smoke rising from his skin where the energy had burned him. Lyra fell beside him, her glowing scars dimming, but no longer burning as fiercely. For the first time, she felt the curse weaken, as though one of its chains had broken. She stared at him in awe. "You killed a Sentinel. No one has ever done that before, not even a Zypherian warrior." Ethan looked at her, his chest heaving. "Then maybe it's not about power. Maybe it's about us. Together." The remaining Sentinels stepped back, their massive forms flickering with unease. For the first time in centuries, the ultimate weapons of the Zypherians hesitated. Their alien voices trembled with rage. The prophecy cannot be allowed to grow. The Council must decide. Far above, in the crystal halls of the Zypherian Council, the elders watched in silence. Their most feared warrior had fallen to a human boy and a cursed girl. The youngest elder hissed, "We underestimated them. If one Sentinel can fall, more can follow." The oldest elder clenched his fists, his voice echoing like thunder. "Then we must burn Earth itself. If the human cannot be killed, then his world must be destroyed." Back in the forest, Lyra felt the shift in the air. Her alien senses told her the truth. "Ethan, they're preparing something worse. They won't stop until they destroy this planet." Ethan's jaw tightened. Fear ran through him, but so did resolve. "Then we'll stop them before they even get the chance." He stood, his body still glowing faintly, his hand reaching for hers again. Together, they faced the towering Sentinels, no longer prey but warriors. The fall of the first Sentinel had changed everything. The Zypherians, for the first time in their history, felt fear of a human. The fall of the Sentinel shook more than just the forest. Across galaxies, shockwaves rippled through the Zypherian Empire. Their strongest warrior, a being forged from the fire of dying stars, had been defeated not by an army, not by another alien race, but by a single human bound to the cursed girl. In the great crystal chamber, the Zypherian Council trembled with anger. One elder hissed, "Our greatest weapon has fallen. If the prophecy continues, the veil will collapse and our reign will end." The eldest stood, his silver face carved with fury. "And then we must destroy Earth, burn it to ash. If the human's world falls, so does he." Around them, the other elders agreed. Their voices echoed like thunder. "Destroy the human world, And so, fleets of Zypharian warships prepared in orbit. They glowed like stars, each one armed with weapons, capable of tearing apart planets. Their engines hummed, ready to unleash fire upon Earth. Meanwhile, Ethan and Lyra stood in the ruins of the forest, both exhausted. Smoke rose from the fallen sentinel, its broken body glowing faintly. Ethan's chest heaved, his arms trembling from the weight of the curse still burning inside him. Lyra touched his shoulder gently. "You should rest. The energy inside you is too strong for a human body. If you push too hard, it will kill you." Ethan shook his head. "I can't rest. Not now. If they send more, this town, this whole planet won't survive." She looked down, her scars glowing faintly. "Ethan, I can feel them. Warships. Hundreds of them. They're above your world, ready to strike. If they attack, Earth will burn." The words chilled him. Earth, his home, his family, his friends. None of them even knew aliens existed, and yet their destruction was minutes away. Ethan clenched his fists, standing taller despite the pain. "Then we can't wait for them to come down here. We have to go to them." Lyra's eyes widened. "To space?" "Ethan, no human has ever survived there without Zypharian technology. The veil will crush you." He looked at her firmly. "I don't care. If they're coming for my world, I'll go to theirs. I'll fight them where they stand." Lyra's heart raced. No Zypharian had ever spoken with such reckless courage. For a moment, she saw in Ethan what her people had lost long ago, the fire to protect, not to dominate. She nodded slowly. "Then I'll take you. My ship still lies hidden where I crashed. It is damaged, but with your bond to the curse, maybe we can make it fly again." Ethan placed his hand on hers, their glow sparking once more. "Then let's do it. We won't let Earth fall." Above them, the Zypharian fleet moved into position, their weapons glowing brighter, ready to fire. But this time, Earth would not face the storm alone. It had a cursed alien girl and a human who had become something more. The true war was about to leave the ground and reach the stars. The forest lay silent after the battle, but the air still smelled of smoke and burned alien metal. Ethan followed Lyra deeper into the woods, his body aching from the curse, but his resolve stronger than ever. Lyra moved slowly, her scars glowing faintly as if guiding her. Finally, they reached a hidden valley where moss-covered rocks surrounded a crater. At the center lay the remains of Lyra's crashed ship. Its silver hull was cracked and scorched, alien symbols etched into the sides. Vines and roots had grown over parts of it, but the ship still glowed faintly, alive with Zypharian energy. Ethan stared in awe. "That's your ship?" Lyra nodded, touching the broken metal gently. "Yes. It brought me here when my people exiled me. I thought it would never fly again, but with the curse flowing through us, maybe it can." They stepped inside. The air smelled faintly of ozone and alien oil. The walls pulsed with light, veins of energy crawling across the ship's interior. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the panels, written in the Zypharian language. Ethan touched one of the glowing lines, and the ship responded with a hum. The lights brightened, and a low alien voice filled the cabin. "Cursed child detected. Human anomaly detected. Bond confirmed." Lyra's eyes widened. "It recognizes you. That should not be possible." Ethan smiled faintly. "Guess your people didn't plan for this." She moved toward the control panel, her hands trembling. "The ship is alive, Ethan. It responds to thought and energy. But it's damaged. It cannot fly on Zypharian power alone." Ethan stepped beside her, placing his hand over hers. At once the curse flared inside both of them, their combined glow spreading through the cabin. The cracked panels lit up, broken circuits repairing themselves with alien fire. The ship shuddered, as if waking from a long sleep. Lyra gasped. "It's working. The curse. It's repairing the ship." The voice of the ship echoed again. Power restored. Coordinates. Earth in danger. Zypharian fleet detected. Threat level. Catastrophic. Ethan's jaw tightened. "Then we don't have time. We need to go up there and stop them." Lyra looked at him with fear and admiration. "Ethan, you don't understand. Zypharian fleets carry weapons that can shatter continents. Even if we reach them, how can two beings stand against an empire?" He met her glowing eyes, his voice steady. "Because they think I'm just human. They don't understand what we are together." The ship hummed louder, its engines glowing faintly beneath the floor. The vines and roots outside began to shake as the hull repaired itself. Slowly, the silver surface smoothed, the alien craft healing like living skin. Lyra placed her hand on Ethan's chest, feeling his racing heart. "Then we must fly, Ethan. Not just to survive, but to fight for your world. And for mine." Ethan nodded. "Let's show them what a human and a cursed alien girl can do." As the ship powered up, light spilled from the cracks, and the ground trembled. Above, the Zypherian fleet moved closer, their weapons glowing brighter, ready to burn Earth. But now, for the first time, the fight would not be one-sided. The cursed girl and her human had a ship-handed destiny. The valley shook as Lyra's ship roared back to life. Silver hull glowed, repairing itself with streams of alien energy. Roots and vines tore away as the craft rose slowly from the crater, its engines pulsing like the heartbeat of a giant. Ethan stood beside Lyra in the control chamber, both of them bathed in the ship's living light. "This is it," Lyra whispered, her eyes shining. "Once we leave the ground, there is no turning back." Ethan tightened his grip on her hand. "Then we don't turn back. We go forward." The ship responded to their bond, its panels lighting up brighter than before. Alien symbols danced across the walls, forming maps of galaxies. The voice of the ship echoed again. "Course locked. Zypherian fleet detected. Orbit level. Weapons charging." Ethan's stomach twisted. He had never even flown in an airplane, and now he was about to fly into space, straight into a war against an alien empire. But fear could not stop him. Not now. The ship's engines flared, and with a burst of light they shot into the sky. Trees bent under the force, clouds split apart, and within moments, the ground was gone. The world shrank below them, oceans and continents glowing faintly under the moonlight. Ethan pressed his face to the glass-like panel. I can see everything." "Lyra, that's Earth. That's my home." Lyra smiled softly, though her eyes carried sadness. "And it is beautiful. This is why they fear you, Ethan, because humans fight for something greater than themselves. You fight for your home." But their moment of awe ended quickly. Ahead of them, shadows filled the stars. Massive Zypherian warships floated in orbit, their hulls glowing with green energy. They were shaped like blades of crystal, sharp and menacing, each one larger than a city. Ethan's chest tightened. "There's so many of them." Lyra's scars pulsed faintly as she touched the control panel. "This is the heart of their strength. If we fail here, Earth will fall." The nearest warship turned toward them, its weapons glowing. A voice boomed across space, carried through alien frequencies. "Cursed child, human anomaly, you cannot escape. The Council commands your end." Ethan gritted his teeth. "I'm getting really tired of them calling me that." The warship fired. A beam of green energy streaked toward them, fast and blinding. Ethan braced himself, but Lyra raised her hands, her bond with him flaring. Together, their glows surged into the ship, and a shield of alien fire burst outward, blocking the blast. The ship shuddered but held strong. Ethan gasped. We stopped it." Lyra nodded, sweat on her brow. "Yes, but this is only the beginning. They will not stop until one of us is destroyed." The ship's panels glowed again, offering options. Weapons online. Human bond increases power by 200%. Firing sequence possible. Ethan looked at Lyra, his heart pounding. "And let's fight back." She placed her hand over his, their bonds sparking once more. Together, they activated the ship's core. Alien cannons unfolded from the hull, glowing with the same silver light that flowed through their veins. As the first shot fired, tearing through the darkness of space, Ethan realized the truth. He wasn't just fighting for Lyra anymore. He was fighting for Earth, for humanity, and for a future where both worlds could survive. The war had reached the stars, and the human and the cursed alien girl were ready to face it. Lyra's ship streaked through the black void of space, its silver hull glowing with every surge of the curse. Ethan sat beside her, gripping the controls, though the ship responded more to their bond than his hands. Ahead, the Zypherian fleet loomed like an army of stars, warships aligned in perfect formation. Each vessel pulsed with green light, weapons ready to fire. The first enemy ship launched a barrage of energy beams. They cut through the darkness like spears of light. Ethan braced himself, but Lyra reached across the panel, her glowing fingers spreading silver light into the ship. Their bond flared, and a shimmering shield of alien fire surrounded them. The beam struck, but instead of breaking, the shield bent the energy away. Ethan exhaled, sweat dripping down his forehead. That was close. Lyra's scars pulsed with pain. Every shield drains me. We must strike back, or we won't survive long. Ethan looked at her, then at the glowing panels. And let's fight. He placed his hand over hers, and together, their energy flowed into the ship's weapons. The cannons unfolded, glowing brighter than the Zyphirian fleet's own guns. With a burst of light, the ship fired. A silver beam cut across the darkness, striking one of the warships. The massive vessel cracked, explosions rippling through its hull until it burst apart in a silent blaze of alien fire. Ethan's eyes widened. We destroyed it. Lyra's face was pale, but determined. Yes, but for every one we destroy, 10 more remain. The fleet is endless. The Zyphirian Council, watching from afar, erupted in fury. Their voices thundered across the crystal chamber. A human has destroyed a warship. This is impossible. The veil itself bends to him. The eldest elder's eyes burned. Then unleash the armory. If the fleet fails, we will drown Earth in fire. Back in space, the remaining warships swarmed. Dozens of beams streaked toward Lyra's ship. Ethan clenched his teeth, gripping the controls as their shield buckled under the assault. Sparks flew inside the cabin, panels flickering. Lyra screamed as her scars flared violently, the curse punishing her for using too much power. "Lyra," Ethan shouted, holding her close. "Stay with me. Don't let go." Through her pain, she whispered, "Ethan, the curse listens to you. Guide it. If you don't, it will kill us both." Ethan closed his eyes, focusing not on fear but on the reason he fought Lyra's freedom. Earth's survival, the hope that their bond could change everything. The curse flared inside him, no longer burning wildly, but flowing like fire in his veins. The ship glowed brighter, their shield hardening just as another barrage struck. Instead of shattering, the shield absorbed the energy and redirected it. Silver beams shot outward, slicing through 3 warships at once. The explosions lit the void like a second sun. Lyra gasped, staring at him with awe. "You did it." They controlled the curse. Ethan nodded, though his body trembled. "Then we'll keep going. No matter how many ships they send, we'll fight until it's over." But even as the wreckage drifted around them, the fleet did not retreat. More warships moved into formation, their green lights burning brighter than ever. And high above, hidden in the shadows of the galaxy, a far greater weapon stirred one that even the Sentinels feared. The battlefield in space blazed with light. Wreckage from shattered warships floated silently, glowing with alien fire. Yet the Zyphirian fleet did not fall back. Instead, the stars themselves seemed to shift, and from the darkness emerged something greater than any ship or sentinel. It was the harbinger of the Vela colossal war machine, half living and half cosmic energy. Larger than a moon, its body pulsed with the raw power of the veil, and its presence made space tremble. The Zyphirian Council had released their last weapon, a being so ancient that even their people whispered of it in fear. Lyra's eyes widened, her voice trembling. "No, not the harbinger. They swore never to use it. If it awakens fully, it will consume everything, even them." Ethan gripped her hand tighter, stomach twisted with fear, but he forced himself to speak firmly. "Then we end this here. No more running, no more curses. This is where we make our stand." The harbinger's voice boomed across the void, shaking their ship. "Cursed child, human anomaly. You are nothing before the veil. Surrender, and your deaths will be swift." Ethan shouted back, his voice steady. "We're not surrendering. Not now, not ever." The massive being raised its arms, and from its chest erupted a storm of green energy. The blast tore through space, larger than any attack they had seen before. Ethan and Lyra braced themselves as their ship shook violently, alarms screaming. Lyra cried out, her scars glowing so hot that they burned through her clothes. "Ethan, the curse. It's breaking apart inside me. I can't hold it anymore." But Ethan grabbed her shoulders, forcing her to look into his eyes. "Then let me carry it with you, together, remember? Always together." Their bond flared brighter than ever, their bodies glowing with silver fire. The ship responded, its hull blazing with energy that matched the Harbinger's attack. When the next wave struck, their shield did not shatter it, absorbed the power. Ethan and Lyra screamed as the curse surged through them, nearly tearing their bodies apart. But they refused to let go. The absorbed energy burst outward in a blinding wave, slamming into the Harbinger. The colossal being staggered, its glowing body cracking. The council panicked in their crystal chamber. The human. He is bending the veil itself. This cannot be, the eldest elder shouted. If the Harbinger falls, so does our empire. In space, Ethan and Lyra prepared for the final strike. The ship's panels glowed with alien symbols, offering one last weapina, core blast fueled by their bond. But the voice of the ship warned, firing will consume both pilot and cursed one. Survival chance? Minimal. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. If we do this, we may not survive. Ethan squeezed her hand, his voice soft but steady. If it saves Earth, if it frees you, then it's worth it. Together, they activated the core. Their bodies fused with the curse, glowing brighter than stars. The ship unleashed a single beam of pure silver light, piercing the Harbinger's chest. The giant roared, cracks spreading across its body, until it exploded in a blinding wave that shook the galaxy. When the light faded, silence filled space. The Zypherian fleet drifted aimlessly, their weapons dark, their power broken. The prophecy had been fulfilled. Inside the ship, Ethan and Lyra collapsed, their glow fading. But Lyra's scars no longer burned. The curse was gone. She looked at Ethan with tears in her alien eyes. You freed me. Ethan smiled weakly, his hand still in hers. Told you, we do it together. And as Earth spun peacefully below, untouched by Zypherian fire. A human boy and a cursed alien girl had changed the fate of two worlds forever.